Hi everyone, and welcome back to the 300 Bird Challenge, where we're trying to see 300 different species of bird this year. We're also still in Florida, a couple more videos to go. I'm Stu.
I'm Sarah.
And we'll be back after this.
Hi everyone, so this morning we are starting at Lake Apopka Wildlife Drive.
We're going to hope to find some special marsh birds here. We might see some more of what we've already been seeing, but maybe we can pick up one or two more species. It's going to be a wildlife drive along a gravel road with like a kind of ravine-y marsh thing at the side of us. Let's go take a look, see what we can find here. Lake Apopka Wildlife Drive is located to the northwest of Orlando on the edge of Lake, you guessed it, Apopka. And we would begin by driving along Lust Road, L-U-S-T, Lust, which I can only assume was named that way because they knew that Sarah and I were coming. Anyway, let's get on with it. Things did start off quite slowly for us as we drove along the dirt roads, examining the reeds and the water as we went. In the last video, several of you pointed out my glaring error where I misidentified a grey-headed swamp hen. Well, to make up for it, here's some more we spotted, including this cute pair of young. And a purple gallinule on sentry duty in a nearby tree. I should have previously noted the white face shield and the yellow legs as the most obvious of the field markings. We continued to scan the marsh on either side of us, but things remained a little bit slow. Okay, well, in the last video we finally got our limpkin, so we're pleased about that. If you didn't see that video, maybe go back and watch it. As for today, we're hoping for maybe king rail, that has been sighted here recently, and maybe also fulvous whistling duck, or as I like to jokingly call it, furious whistling duck. Wouldn't mind seeing one of those either. Let's continue driving up this track. We did see something flitting about in the plants that was tough to get a good look at.
There's something weird there.
It eventually popped out for a millisecond, showing us enough to know that this is a swamp sparrow and a new bird for the year. While we were out of the car, we also spotted a nearby marsh rabbit before we moved on, and then spotted something very special. We have just seen a least bitten. That's really awesome. Got a nice view of that, taking a little bit of a poke into the water to try and catch something. Very secretive, well camouflaged birds. Really pleased to have seen that. Least bitten, got that on the 300 bird challenge. Thank you, Florida. The least bitten is a new bird for our count, and it's generally quite secretive and well hidden, camouflaged amongst the reeds with its striped front. They're also pretty small, one of the smallest heron type birds, around 11 to 14 inches tall. That sighting put a bit of a spring in our step, or our drive anyway. Here's another reed dwelling heron that we spotted, black-crowned night heron. You know what we haven't seen for a while? Some good old-fashioned palm warblers, so here's a couple of them near the front of the tree and another one hiding towards the back. Things began to pick up for us as we advanced, and besides the usual American coots and common gallinules, we also saw some green herons, like this one with its on alert extended neck. And there were also a few double-crested cormorants. And anhingers like this one. Ha! You thought I'd got another bird ID wrong there, didn't you? Next up, slightly hazy views of a new lifer. These are fulvous whistling ducks. They look a lot like black-bellied whistling ducks, but have a reddish-coloured belly, and the beak is dark-coloured compared to a light reddish-orange colour on the black-bellied. There is a fairly large population of fulvous whistling ducks around the Orlando area, and especially here at Lake Apopka Wildlife Drive. Well, as we continue around this trail, we have seen a couple more things. A little bit earlier, we saw a swamp sparrow, new one for the year, quite a handsome looking one, and we've just seen the fulvous whistling ducks. Not the best shot because of the heat haze rising up from the track, but we did get it, so that's another one for the year, and that's a lifer too. Let's see if anything else crops up for us. Stay tuned, let's go. We continued to crawl along the drive, and it's worth noting that we'd only ever seen one least bitten before today, but then we saw a second one quite close to the side of the trail. Some other birds we saw here included a tricoloured heron, and several ospreys. We also saw, but didn't get great footage of, common yellowthroats, downy woodpecker, both varieties of ibis, and a few other expected birds that we've already seen so far this year. As we were coming to the end of the drive, we saw tons of this common water hyacinth. Couple more birds just before we exited, a few barn swallows on a wire, that's new for the year, and a red-shouldered hawk looking for lunch. Alright folks, that was a pretty good drive, big area, lots and lots of birds, although I didn't show too much because it's a lot of the species we've already seen. Did get closer looks at a least bitten, that was really cool, eye to eye with a bird that is usually so well hidden. So really pleased to see two of those, that's pretty special. We also got barn swallow towards the end there, and lots of nice looks at different things. So I think it's time for us to move on to a different area. I think we're a little bit marshed out, so we're going to try a different habitat. It's about an hour away from here. Stay tuned, we're going to take a quick break, maybe have a snack. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Welcome back as we make our way northwest to Carney Island Recreation and Conservation Area, which is just over an hour's drive from our last stop and not too far from the city of Ocala. For some reason, there were lots of classic cars in the parking lot, like this 1950s Nash Metropolitan convertible. Okay everyone, welcome back. Sara, where are we?
Carney Lake Recreation Area.
Going to take a quick look around here. It's quite hot and humid, especially in direct sunlight. There's lots of cicadas buzzing around at times. In terms of birds, so far we have seen or heard northern parula, Carolina wren, a couple of those, tufted titmice, northern cardinal, red-bellied woodpecker, and we got nice looks at a couple of pileated woodpeckers that were hanging around in the woods just behind us a moment ago. Stay tuned, we'll take a quick look around, but I think we may head on, while we still have time, to the general vicinity of Ocala. There's a couple of wildlife areas there, and we have seen reports of red cockaded woodpecker over the course of time. They're quite a rare woodpecker that we won't get in Ontario, so it'd be really nice to pick it up. Having said that, it's rare enough that it's hard to really get any kind of solid details on exactly where they've been sighted, but we'll take a look and see how it goes. Might mean the video ends on a bit of a flat, but those are the chances you take. Stay tuned. For the time being, we're going to have a look around here. We continued along the trail, but the oppressive heat restricted our sightings to the birds that I've already mentioned, plus this black and white warbler. And really not much else, which was a shame. We decided to turn back and move on. Driving north, the environment began to visibly change with fewer and fewer palm trees, and once at our destination, lots of pine trees. Okay, we didn't see too much more, so we decided to move on. Where have we come to, Sara, vaguely?
Ocala National Forest.
Yeah, it's not really got any obvious parking areas. Most of the tracks, as you can kind of see, are for ATVs, all-terrain vehicles, but we know that red cockaded woodpeckers are vaguely seen somewhere around here, and they have been within the last few days. We're just not really sure where. We don't know much about this woodpecker really, to be honest, and we're pretty isolated at the moment. There's no cell phone coverage, no data. We do know that they like recent burns in these kinds of trees, and there's a bit of habitat like that behind us. In the meantime, we've heard pine warblers sing. Maybe we'll get one of those on camera. Let's take a look around. The heat's pretty brutal and there's not much cover, so we might just walk down here a little way, maybe try somewhere else nearby. Stay tuned. Ocala National Forest is a massive area east of the city of Ocala, and we were searching a comparatively tiny area somewhere around here, south of Lake Kerr. It was still really hot, but we were hearing pine warblers. And one did eventually drop down from the canopy so that I could film it, so not a complete waste of time coming here. But after some searching and listening for bird calls, well, we walked a little way down. It's pretty hot and it seems pretty quiet. We did get the pine warbler on camera, but basically what we're faced with is just a never-ending road with the occasional place where you can kind of just pull off the side of the road and hope for the best. So I think we're going to go down the road a little bit further and find another pull-off or two and try our luck, but I'm not too hopeful, but we'll give it a try because you never know. Gotta be in it to win it. We searched another forested area, drove around looking for recent burn areas, tortured our rental car a little bit, but there's no point dragging this day out any longer. We didn't find it, so bit of an abrupt end to this video, but there's one more episode coming from Florida, so stay tuned to the channel. Please do all of the nice things. Like this video, leave us a comment, and best of all, please give us a subscribe. Click the subscribe button and the bell icon. See you soon, and happy birding.